They keep begging me to stop it. Going fast in a two-seater with a 2-liter and a bad bitch. Niggas hating on me, I can see the signs. I can probably say I made it. If a nigga run up on me, hit him with the beam, we gon' make him famous. I got friends showing fake love, I'm starting to lose my patience. Every night celebrating, all them times we ain't had shit. I can't wait to go flood my wrist. You ain't never had a night like this. Why you had to do me like this? You the reason I don't trust no bitch. You the reason I act like this. Pistol on me when I ride around. My old hoes wanna see me now. I ain't fucking with my old friends. They don't wanna see a nigga make it out. I'm the nigga that they talk about. Running to the money, you can run your mouth. I get love when I'm out the city. They be hating on me when I'm down south. Book a short 40 on me. They don't like it when I bring the goons out. When they see me, they don't talk now. They be acting funny cause I'm up. Let my diamond show. I know they plotting on me on the low. Look all this money that a nigga blowing. I hit it 3 times in a row. Fuck all these fast cars in the hole. Really be stressed out for a foe. I think the devil want a nigga soul. I gotta get it, never going for. When I be out neck on froze, they used to doubt shit wouldn't go. I still be letting everybody know. You the reason I be doing it for. I get money, I can do what I want. Niggas talking, but they saying what they want. I make a day what you making a month. They keep begging me to stop it. Going fast in a 2-seater with a 2-liter and a bad bitch. Niggas hating on me, I can see the signs. I can finally say I made it. If a nigga run up on me, hit him with the beam, we gon' make him famous. I got friends showing fake love, I'm starting to lose my patience. Every night celebrating, all them times we ain't had shit. I can't wait to go flood my wrist. You ain't never had a night like this. Why you had to do me like this? You the reason I don't trust no bitch. You the reason I act like this. You the reason I act like this.
Yeah. What's good, YouTube? I used to be broke, but now Tay got cash. Back with another video, man. Y'all already know. What's up, Angel Gang, Fun Family, Cash Crew? How y'all doing, man? Back with it again. And cut the music off. You know, I might let it ponder in the background. Today's topic. Well, I wanted to start something new or whatever. We know talks with Tay. I always do. Pan Africanism. Hopefully y'all can see that. Hopefully the lighting's straight. The lighting was worse than this. If y'all don't think this is straight, I had to buy a little something, little YouTube lights and all that. But the lighting obviously still ain't better. But I put another light bulb up here, and this is the best it's gonna get. Good it's gonna get right now. You gotta work what you got. You know what I'm saying? Right now, this look like it's straight. So I'm about to do the best I can do with it. You know what I'm talking about? I'm about to tell y'all about Pan Africanism. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Everything straight. Cause I don't be having time, nigga who I speak, say it with your chest. I do that, okay? Pan Africanism. Basically, it's a little worldwide movement. Not little, it's big. It's a worldwide movement that aims to encourage and strengthen the bonds of solidarity between all indigenous and diasporan ethnic groups of African descent. You descended from people from Africa, Africans. I'm an African. If you're black and you're watching this, you got skin color like me, melanin, nappy headed like me, happy to be nappy. You're African, whether you like it or not. That may not be your nationality, but that's your ethnicity. That's your racial category. Everybody's either Mongolians, Caucasian, or Mongoloid, Caucasianoid, or a Negroid. And I'm a Negroid, proudly. Hello, black and proud. You're supposed to be. Where's about to go? So the African diaspora, as I mentioned, it's not just about Africans. It's not just about Pan-Africanism being towards the continent or contained to the continent, should I say. It's about Africans in diaspora, and all the diaspora mean that word, It just means everybody outside of the continent of Africa. Asians, or the Asian diaspora outside of Asia is just Asians outside of Asia. You know what I'm saying? The white diaspora outside of Europe, or should I say the Europeans, are all the Europeans outside of Europe. So, that's all the diaspora meaning that word. Just in case you didn't know. You might not have. Might learn something. That's what the whole video is for. And the ideology, it asserts that the fate of all African people, countries, and on the continent are intertwined. You know what I'm saying? Of all people and countries, they're intertwined. They're our destiny. What happened to black people here will happen there. You know what I'm saying? Because African people on the continent and in the diaspora, we share not merely a common history, but a common destiny. That's what the ideology asserts and believes, when a foundation to it. It's based on the belief that unity is vital to economic, social, and political progress and aims to unify and uplift people of African descent. That's why I'm a Pan-African nationalist, a Pan-Africanist. This is a nice ideology. Our community, the black community, solely needs it. It surely needs it. Desperately needs it. Trying to find a word. It needs it. At least I think so. In my opinion, it would help. Because the state of the black community right now, you wouldn't know unless you were in the black community, and unless you, really step back and evaluated it, or critiqued it like the Boondocks does, besides all the jokes and all the, somebody told me, oh, they don't believe every joke is a little bit of truth, something like that. But I was like, some stuff are just jokes, but, you can decide for that yourself, whether that's true or not. Whether you hold that to be true, it's a, I think this is a Pan-African organization, the Organization of African Unity. I'm pretty sure, the OAU. What's the name? Pan-Africanists. The intellectual, cultural, and political movements tend to view all Africans in the sense of Africans belonging to a single race. That is absolutely correct. Not so much the one drop of blood rule. For that slavery stuff. Not like that. But if you have an African parent, you're African. Drake, The Weeknd, Logic, Barack Obama, you've named countless more. I'm pretty sure, just it's not with me right now on the tip of my tongue. But those examples I gave, those are African people. Joyner Lucas, light skinned niggas. You got an African parent, a mom or dad that's black, you're African, you're black. And all these words are synonymous. People want to argue about the word. I'm not black. I'm African. I'm Hebrew. I'm Moor. Moor just means black. I'm Negro. They're all synonymous. African American. They're all the same thing. That's why you call white people, Caucasians, white people, Europeans, they're all synonymous. People always want to argue about the words, the little superficial small stuff. I step back and I see the big picture, and it also poses a sense that shared historical fate for Africans in America, in the West Indies, on the continent itself. It has it's centered, in the Atlantic slave trade, in slaves, African slavery, and European imperialism and colonialism, because, the scramble for Africa and all that stuff in the 19th century, the 1800s and all that. Tried to carve up Africa like it was a cake or something. Random piece of noise. Hit the ashtray. Some Pan-Africanists, Kwame Nkrumah, Malcolm X, I could also show y'all some more. Let me see. Hold up. I don't know what I just did. Okay, hold up. I do know. I started wilding. Well, then I can show y'all the definition for Pan-Africanism. The principle of or advocacy of the political union of all the indigenous inhabitants of Africa. And that is solely needed, desperately needed in this state. Because, African people are at the bottom of the barrel in the world. Whether you know it or not, if you do the research, you look at all the statistics, I think it's crazy, We need to uplift them and unite them, politically and ideologically. Because, black people together are strong. Cause problems. Not problems like that, Get stuff done problems. Build pyramids and stuff. I just wanted to, okay, I remember what I was about to be doing. Hold up. I almost just messed it up. MLK and Marcus Garvey, both Pan-Africanists. I was about to, show y'all pictures, but y'all get the idea. I want to speed this up. Don't want to speed it up, but I want to, this is like my third time recording this, I almost hit, be like 20, 30 minutes. I'm about to see, but I want to get all the information out. The phone is ringing, but I don't ever pick it up. It's not for me, I assure you. And y'all probably can't hear that, but Okay, so Marcus Garvey, he was a big Pan-Africanist. I'm going to move on to him right now. Hold up. Marcus Garvey. Hold up. I told you about Marcus Garvey. Henry Sylvester Williams, that wasn't that picture I just saw before this flag. That was, Kwame Nkrumah, as I just told you. Henry Sylvester Williams, though, he's a modern Pan-African. He's a modern Pan-Africanist. Modern Pan-Africanism began around the start of the 20th century. The African Association, later renamed the Pan-African Association. Just put Pan in front of it, Pan. and you know was established around the 1897 by Henry Sylvester Williams, who organized the first Pan-African Conference in London in 1900. You know, so start of the century, the newest century. You know, the 20th century. So he did that. You know, he organized the first conference after organizing the association for 3 years prior to that. You know what I'm saying? And Henry Sylvester Williams, he was one of the one of the founders, modern Pan-Africanists who started this. You know what I'm saying? He held it, the first Pan-African conference was in London. Excuse me, it was in London. Yeah. So, and I want to look this up real quick. And yeah, see, look, I'm about to tell you the meaning of pan in front of African. As you know, it was the African Association. I think they changed it to what? The Pan-African Association. And because pan means, it's from the Greek prefix, pan meaning all of everything, involving all members of a group, You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Pan-African, they changed it to that, because it involves all people, all members of the African ethnicity, African diaspora, African race. You understand what I'm saying? And that's powerful, uplifting. And I told you, he organized the first Pan-African conference in London, 1900. Why London? Because, hold up, one moment. Henry Sylvester Williams, he was a Trinidadian lawyer, a counselor, a writer. He is most noted for his involvement in the Pan-African movement, Real life, you know what I'm talking about? The first Pan-African conference, it was held in London from, July 23rd to July 25, 1900, as I mentioned, organized primarily by the Trinidadian, what did it say? Barrister Henry Sylvester Williams, The barrister, a lawyer. Didn't know that. Interesting. Barrister. That's how you pronounce it. And, as I mentioned, it was every race has a flag but the coon. Well, no, that's not what I mentioned. I mentioned the Pan-African Conference being held in London, 1900. Why London? It didn't even start, or, the first conference wasn't even held in America. It was in London. But Americans come from London. Most of them, at the beginning of them, the first did. Anyway, not the indigenous American, the white folks. But anyway, every race has a flag but the coon. Degrading song towards black people, mocking them, saying every race besides them, Chinese, the Spanish, the white people, have a flag except the Africans. No Africans had a flag. The African countries wasn't free yet. Ethiopia was never conquered, but during the 20th century, all that stuff with Hitler, it was they was going at war fighting off the Italians, but they was never conquered apparently. Good. They're the Wakanda of today. In real life, that's nice. I mess with Ethiopia. I got a flag over here. I mess with Ghana too. I got a flag. And but anyways, they didn't get the flag until like the 20th century. So that's interesting. I can look that up real quick. Cause they didn't become a country till 1941, and so I'm guessing that's official country recognized by the United Nations and all that stuff or something. Cause they had a king and all that stuff. I might do a video on Ethiopia one day, cause that's interesting. Cause that all that's interesting and all that. See, they became a country 1941. They didn't get their flag till 1996. So that's what. 55 years without a flag, but you're a country, you're a nation, and history is deeper than that. They're mentioned in the Bible, all type of stuff. So it's like, you're that long without a flag and all that stuff, and it's just interesting. I'm sure they had flags before that, maybe our modern day, and don't know about it. But you would think the country would know. But anyway, oh, it's just interesting, And I just got off to Ethiopia because we didn't have they was the only African country not colonized. But they didn't have a flag, which is interesting, very interesting. Also, so back to this right here. Hold up. Oh, I obviously got off of it. Go right here. Every race has a flag but the coon. The white people mocked us. They had that flag. I mean, they had that song. It was a song. If I didn't mention that, it was a song. You know, and it was a previous song. This was the hit. This song followed the previous success of All Coons Look Alike to Me, written in 1896 by Ernest Hogan, H.L. McKinnon. I think I pronounced it right the first time. You know, one of the top 3 coon songs, which firmly established the term coon in American vocabulary, became the norm, just like nigger became the norm or whatever, you know, and, you know, yada, yada, yada. You know, the racial slurs category. So I got like a list somewhere or whatever on the Wikipedia, because Wiki, while may not be the most accurate thing, it's useful, and yeah, like all the racial slurs, you'd be surprised the people who come up with this and made this stuff anyway. So you know, and they were popular songs in the United States, in the United Kingdom, you know. Understood why the next year, because this was written, or the All Coons Look Alike to Me was written 1896, excuse me. The African Conference, or the African Association, my fault, was, you know, came together in 1897, a year after this song being written and being popularized. And 3 years after that, the Pan-African Conference was held, you know, in 1900 in London, because of this racism, highly racism, prejudice, ignorance also, as well. So, you know, let me go right here. You know, in the earlier part of the 20th century, his thoughts and writing shapes the movement of more practical aspects of the Pan-African movement, and it impacted blacks in Africa in many ways. Pan-Africanism envisions a black nation where all blacks can live together. The philosophy espouses a common destiny of black people. That is a foundation and major belief of Pan-Africanism, and if one sentence will represent it, this would be one of them. You know, and I don't know who they was talking about, his thoughts. I would say Marcus Garvey, because he was one of the top Pan-Africanists, excuse me. First video where I'm doing a subject like this, some of my words may be a little off, and y'all saw me smoking, but that has nothing to do with my functionability, whichever is accurate. And you know, I already read that, and that's very true. You know, Pan-Africanism, it provides an ideology for rallying Africans at home and abroad against colonialism, and the creation of colonial nation states did not erase the idea of a united Africa. Excuse me. You know, the United States of Africa. That's a thought one day. That's a thought. That's like the major accomplishment. That's like the goal. My fault. That's the goal. That's what the word I was looking for, of Pan-Africanism, to get the United States of Africa, our nation state, or Black America, where we get a couple states in America. About 10 maybe 10 lower states or something like that. I'm telling you, and that's Black America or something. There's like a TV, when the TV show about that come out or whatever. You heard it here from Take Cash first, because I did some digging about that or something like that. And you know, United States of Africa. This is Africa, if you cannot see it. You know, I'm pretty sure you can. You know, Chad, Nigeria, Algeria, Morocco. These would be the hardest to unite with the United States of Africa, where it's more dominantly dark-skinned black people, Africans. South Africa, you know, Angola, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, Tanzania, Zambia, you know, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Ethiopia, you know, the black people at. But up here where the Arabs are at and all that, you know, the lighter-skinned Africans, you know, it's going to be hard to unite them. But it can be done, and I feel like it must be. The United States of Africa is a very real and very accomplishable dream. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, let me see it, hold up. Marcus Garvey, you know, he's a Jamaican political activist, publisher, journalist, entrepreneur, and orator, as I hope to be one day. an entrepreneur and an orator one day. You know, even a publisher and a journalist, a political activist as well. So all of his accomplishments, you know, if I could accomplish any of them, would be happy with myself. I envision, I plan to accomplish all of them. Hello. You know, so he was a major Pan-Africanist. I want to tell you about him. Marcus Garvey, Marcus Messiah Garvey Jr., born August 17, 1887 in Jamaica, St. Sam Bay. He died June 10, 1940. I think before the World War II. So, I think it started the next year. It might have started right here. I don't know. In United Kingdom, you know. So. Oh yeah, and World War II started in 1939. So yeah, he died during World War II. And he didn't fight it or nothing. He had like a cardiac arrest or a heart attack or something. And, you know, history of Pan-Africanist intellectuals such as Pan-Africanist ideals first began to circulate in the mid-19th century of the United States. Century, you know, any century they mention, you know, the 19th century, they're talking about the year before that, you know. So, you know, the 1800s, they're talking about 20th century to 1900s. We live in the 21st century to 2000. That's how you know centuries, you know. The most important early Pan-Africanists were Martin Delany, Alexander Cuomo, both African Americans, and Edward Blyden, you know, Henry Sylvester Williams, Marcus Garvey, you know, even W.E.B. Du Bois, you know. So, I'm not going to hate on him, but, you know, he was kind of colorist, light skin, you know, that syndrome. Light skinned it is, you know. You know. You know, Martin Delany, you know. Got the picture of him. Marcus Garvey also started the UNIA ACL, the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. You know, that that group that associations league is responsible for giving us the red, black, and green flag that we have that represents us as a people. In response to it, every race has a flag but the coon, you know. So what else, you know? They said that the Liberty Hall that they met in drew up to 6,000 people at a time during the meetings, you know. 1919. He organized way more people than Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. I would even say combined more than them. You know. And the UNIA, you know, I just told you, you know, that's when they had like 6,000 people. And the year before that, you know, they said, the year before that, that's where he began a newspaper before telling, you know, 1919 that he could hold 6,000 people. Then the year after that, 1920, he said that he had about 5,000 to 200,000 members in the UNIACL, Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League. It's a little mouthful, but it's dope. And at one point, he said he had 6 million members. So, you know, it's no telling, but he organized a lot of people, that's for sure. And the red, black, and green flag, you know. The Pan-African flag, also as it is known, the UNIA flag, the Afro-American flag, the Black Liberation flag, the African-American flag. Many names, all for the same flag. All the names represent the same thing. You know, the tricolor flag consisting of 3 equal horizontal bands of black, red, black, and green. That's the only proper order. If you ever see it in any other order than red, black, and green, it's not acceptable whatsoever. And excuse all my excuse me's, but you know, I'm gonna get better with this as time goes on because I plan to do this a lot more and teach on a lot of other stuff because there are many lies and many deceitful things out here and I would just like to clear stuff up and at least do what I want on my channel. This is Take Cash TV, and you're getting the scoop right here. You know. And I'm going to close with the Pan-African flag and what it means. You know, it was adopted August 13, 1920, designed by Marcus Garvey. That's why I say he was a real nigga. R.I.P. Marcus Garvey. You know, there's a proposed holiday, you know, in Black World Today in the 1909 July 25th edition that August 17 should be Universal African Flag Day, and we should, you know, fly that red, black, and green banner proudly, you know. And not August 13th today, we adopted it, but August 17th because that's Marcus Garvey's birthday, and I applaud that idea. You know, has many alternate names, you know, Marcus Garvey flag, Universal African flag, Black Nationalist flag, Black Liberation flag, African Nationalist flag, Afro-American flag, as I said before. And even, you know, Kiswahili, which I believe all Africans, Americans, or Africans in general should learn as a second language. Because, you know, we are the only people in America who cannot have a conversation without other people knowing what we're saying, you know. The Indians can speak. We don't know what they're talking about. Both Indians, Red Dot and Native Americans. Columbus we only call Indians Native Americans Indians now because Columbus came over here and thought he was in India. Dude was loony. Anyway, so you know, the Chinese can speak. We don't know what they're saying. The Mexicans speak Spanish. We don't know what they're saying. We speak. People know what we're saying. But anyway, that's another discussion. You know. You know, Pan-African flag, you know, here's, you know, based on every flag, every race has a flag but the coon, the disrespect that song brought, you know, red stands for the blood that unites all people of African ancestry and the shed for liberation, you know what I'm saying? Red for our blood and our struggle, black for our people of color, because, you know, we're all black, you know, for who, you know, exist as a nation, you know, not a nation state, but you know, it is firm by the existence of the flag. We don't have that United States of Africa yet, the nation, but the flag represents that, the black part, you know what I'm saying? And green for the abundant natural wealth of Africa, because you know, Africa is rich in all minerals and stuff like that. It's the best continent, I would argue, you know, in my opinion, you know, it's for a symbol of hope and a liberated future, which the black heroes spoke for, everybody that they died for, you know what I'm saying? You know, because Africa, a lot of stuff comes from that silver, gold, diamonds, coltan, it's in this phone, it's probably in your laptop, your iPad, all that stuff, maybe your TV. You know, you need coltan for these smartphones and stuff like that. It comes right from Africa. They get their brains blown out over diamonds and stuff like that. So, and you know, that's my spiel. I just wanted to tell y'all about Pan-Africanism. I'm gonna come on here and start saying other stuff. This is the flag I got in bandana form. Shit hard as hell. Come on here and talk about other stuff, you know, such as the Bible, which I believe is scientifically and historically accurate, you know, the inspired, infallible, you know, inerrant word of the living God. Hello, I said it. I didn't say it right, but so you know, also debunk evolution because it is the lie and the most dangerous, dumbest religion in the history of mankind. But you know, this is Take Cash, cashing out. See y'all.